Alright, sorry about the brief delay there. My camera seems to be acting up, so if it's a little lower quality, apologies, it's just not the one I usually use. Now, where was I? Today we are back to Deep Rock Galactic, which if you watched my first stream, you'll remember that was where we started. And today we're going to be doing that again, but with a bit of a twist, because today we're going to be letting the wheel pick our particular missions. So or at least pick what type of mission we're going to do, because we obviously the way the game works makes it near impossible to make it pick a direct mission without having to redo the wheel every time. But we're going to let it pick the type of mission. So let's see what we got. All right. Okay, it looks like we're going back to elimination missions again. All right. Well, if you'll remember, that is basically our boss fight missions. Means we've got to go take down, in this case, 2 different dreadnoughts, which are the big ugly bugs. And for dreadnoughts, you know what? We're gonna go with the. We're going to go back with the same build we tried before it crashed on me. The engineer with his smart rifle and the grenade launcher. Now let's see, what's on offer? Dark Morkite. Well, that's of no use on a mission like this, so here we go. Oh, here, let's let the game audio actually play. And there we go. Alright, can you guys hear the game audio at all? There's not much to hear on, I guess. But oh, again with the. That means there's of course one somewhere in this cave, which means I might want to find that before I go after the dreadnoughts, because if that happens to get broken during the fight, that won't be good, because basically, I mean, that summons stuff, but it also might just be that glitch that I thought they had fixed by now, where it does that dialogue at the beginning of the mission, whether you, even if there's not one there. I don't know. Okay, well, I guess we'll start with going through here and see what we got. Yeah, it's like right down there, so we'll start digging through here. And you just gotta keep going until we find our way there. And we'll gather as many of these little flowers, they're called the pocket Whims, as we can on the way, since that's our secondary objective. We'll, of course, keep a lookout for nitra and gold and whatever else. And there's a cocoon. Okay. Now let's do what I failed to do in the last time I did this, and get the sentries actually set up and built before I start this fight, because, you know, they're kind of useful. Granted, they're not great at targeting weak spots, but if it's the twins, they'll come in handy. And actually, even if it's the head guard, they'll come in handy against the sentinels. So, oh shoot, I never turned the wheel off, did I? Oops, let me get that off screen so you guys can see what's going on. Sorry about that. Now then. Oh, back, Praetorian. There now. Let's reload that sentry, make sure I have a full mag on the rifle. And yeah, this arena's good enough. I mean, I can put a few platforms up to flatten things out a little, but I'm not super worried about it. we go. What do we got? Ah, it's the twins. Okie doke. So, what did I miss? Oh. Yeah, if you guys remember, the twins are not my best boss to face off against. That's what cost me my mission last time. So here, try and keep as much fire as possible on the Arbalest. Actually, I might at this point I might need to put a little more onto the Lacerator before they do the healing thing. Yep, nope, too late. Where'd they go? I did not realize this pit was here. Ugh. For crying out loud. Okay, jeez Louise, it's so hard to keep track of them. Right? No, they're not even down here, are they? I'm gonna have to... Oh. Okay, there's the Lacerator down, which means they won't do the healing thing anymore, but it does also mean that the Lacerator's gonna get mad now and start using even worse attacks, and I am running short on grenades. But I can switch to the lock 1 if I need to, but I am definitely going to want to restock before yeah, I'm out of grenades now, so I'm definitely going to want to find enough nitro for a ammo drop before I pop the next dreadnought. There we go. Okay, that's the end of them. Sheesh, the twins are such a pain. Okay, now let's see. Definitely want as much nitro as I can get, and hopefully some red sugar in the meantime, because not in a great position health-wise, and completely out of ammo for the grenade launcher, so let's see, Crappa, not too terribly, what is, oh, it's my sentries. Yeah, I better call those back. Where's the other one? All the way over there. Yeah, we're probably going to have to backtrack, or we can go this way. How much nitro do I have? 56, and I need 80 for a supply drop. Well, there's some gold, which, I mean, I'll take it, but it's not what I'm looking for. Nitro, perfect. Okay. And that should be enough to call a supply drop, I think, so, yep. Yep, alright, so with that handle, we'll just go find the next cocoon, I guess, which looks like I gotta go through here. Yep, more compressed dirt, which means a passageway, or the intended passageway that the game generated. So, Mactera. Yeah, it's the nice thing about the Lock 1, especially against those flying enemies, is it can just walk straight onto them and not have to worry about it. And I'm gonna call a supply drop anyway, and so I'm not too terribly concerned about conserving ammo since I'm entirely out of the grenade launcher ammo anyway. I'm gonna get a full refill no matter what I do. And I guess we just keep going down this way. So, pocket balloon, we'll grab that. We've got plenty of nitro, so we'll leave bugs alone. Some crappa, low enough that I don't have to worry about it, so we'll grab that. Now, most of the minerals you'll see in the game are really only used for crafting stuff in between that you'll use to make yourself stronger between missions, unlocking weapons and perks for the weapons. But oof. And yeah, the hover boots perk there just saved my butt, which is why I take it. Because yeah, that could have ended poorly. Oh geez, it's up there. That's not ideal placement, but hey, what else is the platform gun? Sorry, words. What else is the platform gun for but making it more ideal? Oh wow, yeah, this sucks. Let's even it out a little. And like we did last time, we're gonna stack up a little bit here so we don't go falling off the edge. Oops. And again, not gonna really bother with trying to be conservative with the ammo because I'm just gonna get it all refilled in a minute anyway, so. Carve out some of this so we're not one less obstacle to worry about once the fight starts. Alright, that should be good enough. Now, alright, place your bets. Do we think it's going to be the twins, or not the twins, it can't be the twins again, so do you think it's going to be the Hive Guard or the basic Dreadnought? The Hive Guard, oh wait, yeah. Now while you're debating on that, let's call in our restock over here. Oh, speaking of Mactera, call in our restock over here and get our, what did I just put up? Yeah, you gotta be careful you don't stand under those because they will one-shot you. Alright. And... oh, I didn't finish going on, did I? Oops. Got distracted. Alright. Make sure everything's full up. Throw mag on that. Grenade loaded. I'm probably going to need that during the fight, but whatever. Alright. Get our sentries set up around the area. One over here. Oh. Yeah, I should fill that in. There we go. Now then. And set this one over here. Alright, and here goes nothing. And it's the base Dreadnought. Alright, so we'll do this similar to how we did it before. Use the lock one to break through the armor without having to worry about getting behind it, and then oh, we dealt enough damage with the lock one to make it reform its armor already. So just keep on trucking. And Bosco and the turrets are doing a little bit every now and then. And kaboom! And that's the end of that. Okay, well that was a lot faster than it might otherwise have been. Alright, we'll recall the sentries. grab one last pod from the resupply to get everything back up to full. And the mule. Alright, yeah, I'm not going to bother with hunting down any more of the Apocalypse Blooms. We got what we came for, so we'll just... Now, this is the part where the swarms that normally don't show up on these missions kind of do start appearing, because now we're waiting. You'll see the drop pod. Looks like it's going to pop right about here, somewhere in that general vicinity. And once it does, Molly here will start heading straight towards it, and we basically just got to follow her. And... Hey. Now, the thing about Molly is that she can climb walls, which can make her a tad difficult to keep up with at this point. And you really just gotta hope she doesn't start going through holes that are much smaller than her hit marks indicate she should be able to go through, because if she does that, you're gonna have some difficulties with finding your target. But as of yet, she doesn't seem to be doing any such thing. Drop pod's only 50 meters away, which isn't all that much. So here, let's for crying out loud, toss that down here and mitigate any fall damage. Hey, Stingtail. Such a pain in the butt. Okay, and yes, I did just catch myself in the blast radius semi-grenade launcher, but at this point I don't really care. Stingtails are one enemy you cannot afford to ignore. And here we are, the drop pod. Alright. We had some gold. Well, we've got time enough that we can afford to mine that. So we'll just get that done real quick. Oh. And just squash that. Anyway. Okay, let's just get out of these guys' way, and drop pod's opened up because the mule has docked, so we're out of here. Alright. Finally, an actually successful Elin mission. Ugh. After the colossal failure of the first one and the computer crash on the second one last time we did this. Sheesh. Alright. Now then. And we're back. Alright. Now before we go any further, let's pull the wheel back up and see what it has for us now. And it's... escort duty. Okay. So, what that means is that we're going to be basically protecting the drill dozer, which is basically a giant drill tank. Let's see, escort duty. There's gotta be magma core. Okay. Magma core has not been our friend thus far, but we'll see what happens. Oh, the Ebonets. Well, I'm not probably going to bother with that secondary objective, but now the thing about escort duty, and I was very disappointed to learn this, is that you can't set up your sentries to defend the drill dozer while it's moving, but you can set them up to keep it safe during its refueling stops. So we'll probably stick with the engineer for this one. Let's see what's on offer here. Pots of gold. Not worthless, but I'm not that interested. Okay, yeah, let's just get moving. Okay, so now then, I did turn it off this time, right? Okay. Now we just gotta keep it moving, and of course, once we get the drill dozer to its destination, there'll be a whole boss fight with the heartstone that it's supposed to be drilling to, because it's apparently borderline sentient, which is weird, but it on this weird planet, nothing is really surprising anymore. That there is oil shale. That's the stuff we'll have to find to refuel it once it runs out of fuel, which it will do at least once, possibly twice. Oh, definitely do not want to be caught in when that lands there. Jeez. There's more gold up there in the meantime. And here she comes. Alright. Now we just gotta press this button, or any of them on the corners will work, but we'll go with that one. Now we head around to the back of the drill dozer. And we start her up. Whoa, what the? Yeah, okay, so one thing about Magma Core is that I'm assuming that's what she must have just run into a bunch of those, there's these explosive plants that tend to all go off in a big chain reaction. It's not fun. Now, you can see on the side of on the corner of the screen, there's the health bar. She has 3 different segments, and they go down in a set order. As long as you can keep her, up and running, you'll be fine, generally speaking. But you do not want to let any of the sections run out, especially the middle one, because once the middle one goes, what the? Oh, again with the stinking plants. It might have just been a glyphid explorer, I don't know, but I sure didn't see one. Yeah, that's a thing about Doretta, as the dwarves call her. She's, that drill can pretty much mulch anything that gets in her way, but that can be a problem when they're, oh ho ho, bitter gem. So, those pink crystals mean that there's a bitter gem up there, and I'll just send Bosco to go grab it, but basically it's just worth a lot of money. And she's out of fuel. Okay, well, once Bosco gets back, we'll... Oh, wait, no, it's not a bitter gem, it's the error cube. Those are, like, really rare. There's no real use for them, but they're not common. Here, I'll take that, and where's the mule? No. Oh, geesh. God, to pay more attention to the health bar there. Yikes, that could have been bad. Okay, we'll set Bosco drone to keep the drill dozer intact. Oh, you know what? I have the Beastmaster perk, so I can turn one of those into a pet. I keep forgetting I had that, honestly. Alright, now, like I said, she's out of fuel, so while Bosco works on keeping her safe, we're gonna start getting oil shale. Now, oil shale is a pain in the butt because it takes forever to mine, and due to something in the programming, and I have no idea why this is, but what you can do is how many of these things are there? God, acid spitters are one of the most obnoxious types of enemies in the game, honestly. Now then, as I was saying, you gotta aim and it'll just absorb whatever you do, but the thing is, if you mine it out first so that it drops in chunks, for some reason that fills up the meter about 3 times faster than just pointing it at the wall. I have no idea why, but it is the fastest method of... Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I should be setting Bosco to mine that and getting my sentries set up here to keep the bugs off. So yeah, we'll have Bosco mine that, especially because he can do it a lot faster than I can. No, now he's getting the Nitra, but and we'll just pick up what he drops. And his AI is set so that he'll go back to guarding the dozer once he's done mining here. Nope. Something's attacking. Oh, gee, shit. Alright, yeah. As you can see, the sentries will put out a pretty effective hail of bullets against anything that tries to get too close. But not Steve, fortunately. Steve is the name of our pet grunt. Again, really don't know why, but that's just what the dwarves call him. And you know what? Nitro would be good to have, because I'm probably going to want to call in a supply drop before that final fight. Yeah, okay. Now then. And we'll just do the same thing again with letting Bosco mine it all down and just picking up what he drops. This thing does have a fairly long collection range, which is the only saving grace for it, really. Alright, that's one done. Now we've got to do the other one. It's going to require... it's just the same thing over again, basically. But... yeah... We're about halfway finished with this one. And yeah, the thing about having Bosco do it is it tends to kind of fly all over the place when he does, but let's see, if I've got any more around here somewhere. And that's, again, Agricore's biggest problem is the molten rock there. Some more nitra. Here's some over here. A few chunks I must have missed from last time. And at this point I'm not even going to bother. There's enough fit here that I should be able to just fill it up with doing it on... Yep, okay. And up. Yeah, grunts you can generally take care of. Grunts are like they're the ones that keep spawning here, and they're like the lowest level enemies. You can generally handle them with a good pickaxe power strike. Alright, we got our fuel back up, and let's get moving. Now, generally I want to stay on this side of it so I can keep repairing the side that'll be actually taking damage first. Oh, I should recall my sentries because they're not going to do me a whole lot of good moving. Let's see. No targets in immediate sight, which is weird. Usually you'll have a whole swarm following. And there they come. And yeah, you can see how the lock one's doing it. It gets target locks and then the bullets curve straight towards each one that it's got targeted, which is like so. Very nice to have. Oh, Praetorian. Oh, did not mean to switch the grenade launcher there. And yeah, the Praetorian's gas cloud isn't really too big a deal since we're not anywhere near it. And the rifle can handle grunts from a long distance away, so... And yeah, I'm not playing on a high enough difficulty to expect a whole lot of others of the more problematic spawns. Just because I know how I am with this game, which is to say not good enough at it to try that, but... Of course, Molly over back here can't keep up because she keeps stopping. And okay, we're here. Do I have enough nitro for I haven't deposited any of my nitro, which means no, I do not. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. But I'm not, like, low enough on ammo or on health that it's really a concern, so... Where is Molly? There she is, okay. Deposit what little I do have, and get my sentries set up to protect the dozer. There's one. And... two. Alright, now the way this works, this boss fight works, is it'll alternate between waves of the core stone, or heartstone, sorry, those are two different things. The heartstone itself doing different attacks, and just waves of normal enemies. So, generally, you just want to stay on the dozer until, in between phases, it will unleash like a shockwave that'll damage you pretty severely if you're caught in it. So you don't want that. Oh, they're shooting already. What's up there? Just grunts. Yeah, sometimes between the sentries and Bosco, they'll take down targets before you can even really notice them. The exploders are significantly problematic on this type of mission because they will deal a good chunk of damage to Dottie. Dottie or Doretta. Either way. Oop. And yeah, you can always tell when it's about to unleash. You can't really see where I'm pointing, but the health bar in after each section, it'll unleash a shockwave. So that means you want to get away from it when it's about to transition between the two, like so. It also deals some damage to the dozer, but not enough to really be an issue. You just repair it for a couple seconds, and here, let's reload my sentries. Oh, geesh, the flying rocks. Okay. You know, this calls for the grenade launcher. Like I said, every so often the Hearthstone itself starts using attacks, and it's got like 3 different ones. So in this case, it's got the flying rocks that it's going to keep... Boss, get out of my line of sight, bud. The flying rocks that it's going to keep summoning, but we can just shatter those with one shot from the hyper propellant, so not too concerning. The other two, and we'll see which one it uses in the 4th phase, because it's got 2 different options, where it might be a little more difficult to deal with for this, just in general. We'll see. Alright, let's get out of the blast range. Boom! And now here comes the big swarm of the normal enemies, while the stone remains mostly passive during this phase. Alright, sentries are loaded up, Bosco's doing his thing. Fire! I love this rifle. Ah, geez, exploders. You do not want them going off anywhere near you or the drill dozer. You can also use the sentries as useful target spotters because they'll find things before you do quite often. Oh, that's a Praetorian. Definitely don't want that going down too close to the drill dozer because that right there, the poison cloud, that can pose a problem. Oh, oh dear. Okay, let's get out of here before the shockwave goes off again. And 1. Boom. Okay. Now. Uh-oh. Oh, this is like the worst one. Yeah, it'll keep doing this for the rest of this phase, and if you happen to be on top of the drill dozer, when it activates, it will deal serious damage. Which means that you really... Oh, come on now. That's such a pain in the butt. Let's get rid of that. disoriented. Where even is the... Yeah, repeatedly getting trapped does make for some annoyance. Okay, fix the dozer real quick, and then get the heck off it before it starts doing that again. If you're sprinting properly, you can sometimes avoid it entirely. But yeah, these stone shells just kind of stay here and provide an obstacle for the rest of the fight. They don't really go away, so... But we're nearing the end. And here we go again. The only good thing about this attack is that it doesn't damage you if you get caught in it. But like I said, it will seriously put some hurt on... Oh dear, my sentries are out of ammo. Oh, and I'm completely out of sentry ammo. Well, I guess they're done for this fight. Not that big a deal, we're almost done anyway. Sheesh, but of course, the Glyphids, now we're taking advantage of the fact that I have to stay away from the dozer to avoid that attack, to try and to attack the dozer without me getting at it. Okay, finally. Okay. Alright, now, what you can do is actually you can bring Dottie's little head back with you and save her from being alone in the depths forever. So I'll just have Bosco pick that up, and then this here is the Heartstone, the thing we actually came here for. And where is Molly? I can never find that dang mule. Oh, she was clipped into the drill dozer, that's why. Okay, that's the end of that. So now we just call for extraction, reload everything. And it tends to spawn the drop pod as far away as humanly possible, usually right back in the ring you started in, so unlike most missions, you can usually get there ahead of the mule with some decent certainty because of how linear escort duty missions are. And yeah, oh, get out of the range of that, and you don't have to worry about keeping up with the dozer or keeping her from getting damaged anymore, so it does make extraction a lot easier than the initial portion of the mission. And there we go already. Now we just gotta wait for Bosco and Molly both to get back here, because Bosco runs really slowly when he's carrying Doretta, and Molly is just not very fast in general, so meanwhile we can get some target practice in. Oh, it's a Glyphid Grunt Guard. Alright, Molly's here. Now we just gotta wait for Bosco, who is 38 meters, 35. Yeah. Like I said, he's pretty slow when he's carrying Dottie, but he's faster than a dwarf would be trying to carry it. So we just gotta wait a little bit. Technically it's not strictly necessary, but you know, you don't want to just leave her behind. And there she is. Alright. Bosco, toss that here. And just carry it into the drop pod, and that will be that. And there she is. Alright. Alright, that went pretty well, all things considered. We're having so much more luck and success than we did the first time I tried to stream this game. Alright. Oh, gee. And let's see here. And now let's see what I unlocked on the performance pass here. Nice thing about this game is that none of the performance pass stuff is locked behind a paywall. It's all free. You just have to keep playing. So I've already finished the current season, Season 5, so they did a thing a while back that lets you go back and play seasons you haven't finished. So I'm currently on 4, which was where we were when I started playing, so I'm working on finishing that up. Let's see. Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, and I mean, it's all mostly cosmetics and a few minerals and credits. Nothing too fancy. Alright. Yeah. Alright, let's get the wheel back one last time for one more mission and see what it decides. On-site refining, okay, okay. So, now, as much as I do like playing around with the NG's turrets and such, on-site refining means we are going to go with the driller, and I think we'll go with this setup for now, with the corrosive sludge pump. Now, the reason that we will generally want to go with the driller, let's see, on-site refining, here we go, crystalline caverns. Now then, anyway, the reason that generally we will want to go with the driller for on-site refining is because it makes the aim of the mission is basically connecting a bunch of pipes, and the driller makes it so much easier with his ability to just tunnel through straight from point A to point B and not have to turn the pipes into a roller coaster. So, with that, let's get moving. Wait, oh, shoot. Okay, that's embarrassing. I said we were going to go driller. I didn't actually switch to the driller, and I forgot to turn the wheel off again. What is with me today? Okay. Sheesh, okay. Sorry, let's try that again. We'll actually go and actually hit the driller before because I'm not doing a refining mission without the driller. It's just too much of a pain in the butt, honestly. The pipes it takes forever to get them laid properly without the driller making his tunnels. So let's try that again. There now. Crystalline caverns, on-site refining. Alright. There we go now. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Glyphid eggs. Okay, that means they're going to be all over the cavern, but they're more of a mild annoyance than anything else. All they spawn is swarmers, and those have like 1 HP, so as long as they're not like actively swarming you, and with the eggs you're only going to get a few at a time. Alright, now let's see. Oh! That was close. Okay, okay, so this is one of our targets here, the liquid morkite wells. We'll call in a pump jack to get that set up. Where's Molly? Okay, that there that just fell down there, that is our like base, and right, we don't have Molly because we have that thing as our main depositing area, which is really, really annoying. Okay, so now this is the thing with Driller that makes him so much better on this mission than any other character, in my opinion at least, is his drills, because you see that right there is where we need to be. We need to get pipes from there to here. All you gotta do is just keep drilling. Now you do have to watch the overheat meter, but worst that'll happen is you have to wait a few seconds for them to regen before you can use them again, and there we go. Okay. This height is not ideal, but well, let's see. Oh yeah, it's perfect. We can just work around here. Let me mark that so I know where I'm trying to get back to. Ah, jeesh. Spitball infectors are such a pain in the ass. Pardon my French, but there we go. Now then, we'll just start the pipeline, and they are kind of finicky on how you have to place them, which is part of what makes the driller worthwhile, because he can mitigate that. Blocked. There now. I don't want to waste too much drill fuel, just because, you know, I've only got so much of it, and nitro's not the... Oh yeah, let's deposit this while we're over here so Bosco's not carrying that around all mission. Then we'll curve it around up here. Drill through here just a bit, and then... Oh wait, nope, curved it too far. There now. And then we just more or less take it as a straight shot. Right, there's the length limit. But we take it as more or less a straight shot along the... And there we go. Alright, now what the next step is basically just setting up... we go back to the beginning and you can start building it. But what I'm actually going to do is have Bosco start working on pumping it, or working on building it, while I go try and find... Oh, another liquid morkite well. Perfect. Okay. Now I could drill up to it from there the same way as I drilled down, but I want to try and get there and drill the other way because it tends to work better that way. Specifically because if you get stuck directly under that thing, it can make drilling properly and placing the pipes a hassle. So using it as a starting point makes that unlikely, or basically impossible. All right, and there we go. Bosco's already done connecting that one. Oh, for crying out loud. Now, what is... Jeesh. Where was... where'd that waypoint go? Oh, right over there. Again, I would just drill up to it, but I'm trying not to waste too much fuel, because, again, I've only got so much, and nitro's not easy to come by in these caves, per se. Let's go get that, and get rid of that thing. Oh, for heaven's sake. Now, let's see. Might have... Okay, now. I must have gotten that thing in the head, or which prevents it from exploding. Oof. That's not exactly ideal. Okay, we're going to take a bit of a detour to get down a little. And now we're a little more on level with it. Or not. Okay. Okay, we can get it up to here, I guess. And then we'll should be more or less a straight shot. Gotta watch that heat meter, though. Again with the... Sheesh. Well, it can be worked around. Okay, so... And then we'll just... Okay. Just drill our way up to intersecting here, so it's less of a steep slope. There we go. See? No big deal. Hey, like I said, they're pretty finicky with the placement. That up to here, and then we should be able to put one up here. Oh, I forgot to deposit that one again while I was back there. Okay. That'll do. Okay. You can also grind on these rails so that you can just follow them straight to whatever's your next objective. Or, you know, to the end of the rail anyway. Okay. Oh, shoot. Did I not call a pump jack? Oh, no, it's right here. Okay. No. I mean, I didn't call it on Jack, but... Crisis averted. Okay. Now, gotta work it back around this way. Okay, there we go. It should be properly connected once it lands. Yep, okay. We'll just ride the coaster back to the... Alright, then we'll once again have Bosco start working on... Oh, where is he? Because he's still holding that gem that which slows him down significantly. My own fault, really. I completely forgot to... Okay. I'll grab that in a second. Have him build and... Go grab that, deposit it, and then go find that last well. Alright, time to break out the throwables. I haven't done this yet, but... I do have the vampire perk that I use for the driller, which lets melee kills restore health. Good grief! Yeah, okay. Fallen Swarm, don't we? I didn't even realize that. Okay, that should be the end of that. Yeesh. And of course I had Bosco building this whole time, so he wasn't here to help me. Okay, now, let's try this again. Grab the gem. Okay. Now then, for crying out loud. Now I just gotta find the last one. It's got to be around here somewhere, right? accounting for where I haven't explored, it's got to be either... It's probably somewhere over here. Let's check up here, maybe. If I had the game audio higher, I could hear it, but I don't right now. Rookie mistake. Ugh, electro crystals. One of the most obnoxious things about this biome. Okay, but here it is. Fortunately, not so completely surrounded by the crystals that I can't get to it. Okay. So, once again, we have the same old story, just gotta... No point in... Now here's where we start drilling. Saves so much time. Oop, okay. Again with the heights. Well, it can be worked around. Let's just mark it. And the last pipeline. You'll see the pump jacks have gray outlines for the ones that I've already connected the pipes to, and the blue is the one I'm trying to get to. When you pull out the laser pointer to check. There we go. Getting it up here is the trick. It should be doable. Yeah, that should work. Yep, okay. Alright, now, as before, it's pretty much a straight shot. So we just keep it going. Up and over a little bit, and okay. Perfect. Alright. Now this time I'll have Bosco building it, but I'll also start working on it myself, which makes it go about twice as fast. Alright. Now, what you can do actually is you kind of you hit the grind button and then you just hold E, or whatever button, but for PC it's defaults to E, and it will automatically stop at the next segment that needs built, or, as you'll see in a minute or two, repaired. Because once we finish this up and start things up, we're going to be facing all kinds of swarms that typically will, I say typically, always, it's just the way the game works, they will bust up our pipes. So we gotta ward them off, keep the pipes up and running, and make it out alive, hopefully. Alright, we're almost there. Oops. I'll just wait for us to finish that one. Yeah, and you can see it goes a lot faster with both of us. Alright, now we just ride the rails back and start her up. Let's reload the... Gotta reload on my sludge pump before we start Alright, here goes. Let's have Moscow grab that. Can handle the bugs for long enough for him to do that. And well, there's bound to be a few. Hey, exploders. Oh geesh, Warden, that's gotta go. Because not only does that summon more glyphids, but it also has an obnoxious tendency to buff them up to annoying levels. What the? Oof, Praetorian. Alright. Okay, which ones are broken? Like I said, they've busted up the pipes, which isn't actually a result necessarily of enemy attacks, it's just scripted that way. But yeah, there'll be a few of these breaks along the pipes that I'll have to fix. I just have Bosco holding that gem, don't I? I gotta stop doing that. And yeah, you'll see obviously enemies around that will be actually attacking the pipes themselves, but it doesn't actually do anything to the pipes. Like I said, they just stop at semi-scripted intervals. I thought I fixed that. Okay, that just leaves one on pipe 3. No, other way. There it is, okay. At least I assume it's only one on pipe 3, but I can't be certain. What? Where'd my... Wait a minute, what? Jiminy Christmas, if I had that... had that not showing in the right place this whole time, how did I manage that? I could have sworn I had it up earlier. Well, I don't know how long it's been like that. Sorry, guys. Jeez, I don't... Okay, well... Oops. Not gonna do that. Right, yeah. Unlike Dottie, the refinery does pretty well start itself back up after you've fixed the issue. And it'll just keep going until it inevitably breaks again. Alright. Watch this. Oh, come on. Yeah, one of the driller's grenade options that I prefer is the they call it the impact axe, and we're broken down again. Okay, well this should be the last time, hopefully. And seeing as there's only one pipe broken, I guarantee you it's going to be 2 on this line, but not that big a deal. Alright, yep, there it is, and we'll just fix that real quick. Head back to keep holding the line, and we're close enough that we should not have to do that again. The axes are just fun, honestly. although I am kind of running a little low on them. And this here, of course, is your Colette wave cooker. It's basically microwaves the enemies. It's more of a combo tool, really, because if I hit it on something that's been hit with my corrosive sludge pump, it will enhance the effect. Like that. And it also has its the ability to induce radiation, which is, it's all just different versions of damage over time, basically. But alright, that's it. It's done. So now we just launch the fuel, launch the rocket with all that stuff we just pulled, and the drop pod will be in a couple seconds. At which point we can go ahead and get out of here. There we go. Should be any second now. There it is. Alright, we'll just go ahead. Ride the rails over in that general direction. And there it is. Surrounded by electro crystals, but other than that, not too bad of a landing spot. Alright, alright. Okay, and I think we're going to call that for today. I think that we have had about enough. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.